3, 2, 1.
Alright, so we have 3 6S batteries that I ordered. And the big guy right here. So, this is what you're looking at. It's the Iflight, I think it's called the DC5. It's not really saying on the box. Oh, yeah, Iflight DJI Titan DC5 HD. So pretty cool. I was pretty stoked about it when I found it online. Look, they put Ace on there, I think. That's cool. Honestly, I have never flown a 6S before, so I don't really know what it's like or anything. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. I honestly don't even know how to set up one of these. I don't even know if there's much I have to do, especially with the DJI system. I'm not really sure. So what you're about to see may be good, may be bad, but we're gonna find out. Let's see here. I hate these boxes. Alright, so, wow, okay, when we open the box, I'm gonna get this camera off here because I want you guys to see what we're looking at. So, when we open the box, this is what we get. We get some stickers, some props. It looks like some extra props too. No, let me see. Yeah, maybe like 2 extra props. Little instructions from DJI, of course. Not really sure about those. Like I said, I've never flown a DJI, or I've flown obviously DJI before, but I've never flown a racing drone with the DJI Air module, or the Air unit. But one thing I'm gonna say right off the bat is look at the, well, this is interesting. This is almost like, you can't see that here. Yeah. So this is interesting. They have it tied down almost like it came from a factory, which it probably did. But so this is really, really neat. I like picking this up. I really, really, really like the feel of it. It feels heavy, which is something I like to feel in a quad, which I know is a little bit weird. But I feel like if I wreck this, which I hope I don't, but everybody usually does, it's gonna hold up. Now I will say that this here, it's obviously this fake carbon fiber stuff. That's a lot thicker than what I usually see in some frames, but man, it looks sweet. Like, this looks really awesome. So I look forward to flying it. The only question is I've never set up a air unit before, so it'll be interesting setting that up for the first time. Everything fits in perfectly. And this is just where I'm going to talk a little bit about why I went with something like this instead of my own custom build. The reason I did that is because For one, it takes a lot of energy and power to build my own. I do have one I've built my own. This is the Cinewhoop, but the Squirt, I think it's version 2, but you can see all that mess in there. It works fine, it's just, I don't know. But the reason I got this is because I want to kind of experiment with those a lot faster flight. I'm not looking at racing, I'm just kind of looking at kind of maneuvering and moving quicker than what a Cinewhoop can do. Not to mention the FPV DJI stuff. So, open this up in here. Looks like we got 1, 2. These just screw onto the back right here. That goes to the air module. You can't see that, my hand's in the way. It just screws on right there. Just like that. Got a nice beefy thing. Some of this stuff, I'll be honest, I have no idea what it's for. Looks like these might be for the antenna, maybe? I don't know. Yep, check that out. This is actually 3D printed. If I were you, I would make sure you get that in there. I don't think I have it in there all the way, but we're just gonna deal with it for right now. I'm a little low on battery on the GoPro. I don't know why. I charge these things up all the time, and it seems like it. So, oh, look, a bird. There's one. So, this is where I'm going to do my first flight. I've always flown here. Problem is, there's a huge valley of water. That whole area is water. So if I crash into that area, it's not going to be pretty, and I'm not going to be happy. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up here. I'm just going to put down a little pad. So here's the gear we got today. This is all, so this is all totally new to me. Well, partially. So the DJI goggles, and this is going to be 6S Iflight DC5. I've never flown 6S except for yesterday, which was inside a area that I shouldn't have been flying in. This is the QX7. That's basically it. I'm not really sure about this radio right now. I mean, I know it's fine, but I might look at getting into something better. I've been playing with the X lights, and I do like those. So we're gonna do this and figure out what happens. Also, I've noticed that the camera angle on here is not too bad, but when I was flying it yesterday, it made it very difficult to land. So we're gonna see what happens. I may have to adjust it. Okay, here we go. This is like that moment right before you go out on stage and it's getting really rough. I like to listen to music when I fly, but yeah, so far the goggles look great. This is my first time using these goggles. The only problem is the beta flight is probably a little bit off, so. I thought for sure I charged this battery up. Now I have to go look for it. But apparently it wasn't charged up. So that's not good for a 6S battery. See, there's our drone. And it's a little messy, but you gotta keep in mind is that obviously we're flying in a big area, and it's like on this quad I have no way of finding it. I gotta look into a solution of like GPS, especially for how much freaking money I've put into it. So this is kind of my flight footage from the Iflight DC5. It was pretty smooth for the most part. The 6S battery was more than powerful enough. I was extremely amazed with how much agility the quad had. I definitely had a reduction in battery power, or not, I'm sorry, not battery power, but battery life. But nonetheless, it was still a great quad to fly. Even this spot right here, in prior times, I would be so scared to go past these trees because I would be afraid that the signal would cut out. And part of that has to do definitely with the DJI Air unit. But the range on this is just unbelievable. The 6S, I just feel like it has just so much power and longevity. There I went a little bit higher. I really just kind of tested it out. Honestly, throughout this whole video, I didn't do much of like a punch out or anything to really spin the props up and see what could happen, I guess. I'm still on the borderline of hey, I don't want to blow this thing up if it's possible. I know 6S is like a totally, it's not super new, but for me it's definitely new, and so it, that whole power idea, I'm going to take it in little strides, and you can see there I love doing that type of thing. But I'll take it in little strides to kind of figure it out. I can almost bet you that my throttle wasn't even past like 50 or 75%. I wasn't really pushing it. I was getting, for the most part, it was about 3 to 4 minutes per battery, minus the first one that you saw. But other than that, like I said, I was using the Taranis QX7. I'm assuming it would work with almost any Taranis out there. I love doing stuff like that too. So all in all, I think that the Iflight DC5, also, it has Titan in there too that I haven't been saying, but it is a great quad. I think it's built well. I think it is a bit heavy, which is why the battery doesn't seem to last as long. But once you start flying, you will quickly realize that you are on a little bit of a time limit. Right here I'm trying to do a little bit of an orbit around myself to see how that works. But just the agility that it offered was just amazing to me. It is way more power than what I'm personally going to need, but it's there if I need it. So it's just amazing, and especially in an open area like this, you can really let loose a little bit, relax. Of course, I couldn't really relax at this point. I was kind of freaking out, but for the most part, that was just a slow flip there. I'm still kind of curious about power loops and different things like that. One thing I will say is that this quad out of the box, I do not believe it is tuned. There were some times where I had some drops and it would shake a little bit, and I think that either has to do with it not being tuned, or maybe just me expecting way too much out of it. So the tuning, I'm sure there's plenty of places on the internet that you can find a tune for it, or do yourself. It depends really. When you fly any kind of FPV, it really depends on your flying type and how you want to actually fly. So the interesting thing about it is that it's kind of it's kind of yours. You can do whatever you want with it. You can borrow somebody else's tune, you can borrow parts, you can make parts, you can add modifications, and that's what part of the beauty of it is. And oh my gosh, I just want to talk about how much I love the area that I live in, and just seeing those rolling hills from that height is just so amazing at that speed. I'm used to flying a DJI Mavic, Phantoms, Mavic Air, you know, that type of thing. But flying at this speed is just, it's unbelievable. It's like a race car in the sky, sort of. But really what I bought this quad for is larger areas to where I could make some cinematic videos that would really kind of highlight some of the areas around here. But if I go somewhere else where I can implement it, obviously I have to definitely work on my piloting skills, you know, in the simulator and in this, and each day you just get closer and closer to doing some really cool stuff. But yeah, for the most part, this quad, I'm just gonna say, like, is definitely beyond what my expectations were. I wasn't thinking much about it. You know, I was kind of more scared of it than actually. You just see I'm doing some flips there, but I was actually more scared of it than you know, doing it. I'm getting a little bit crazy here, but that's what I mean with this quad. You feel like you can do really whatever you want to do. If you want to go through some couple trees, you can do that. And I will say that the goggles, if you are seriously thinking about this quad, those goggles, the HD vision on it will make you feel so much more comfortable than what you might be typically used to, because you can see more. You can kind of, I'm not saying that you can see the branches that are maybe going to hit you, but you can definitely see everything that you need to get through an obstacle. I'm not going to do a test to see whether I can see branches or not, but anyway, that is the conclusion, I think, of this video. Appreciate you all watching. Please like, subscribe, do whatever you need to do, and I'll see you guys again soon.